Nav deck, we have Hercules away.
Copy, Hercules away.
Now you can just dead stick. So now the boat is moving.
Okay.
So Hercules is going back. So you can.
Nav deck, we have Hercules passing the transom.
So now that you're past the transom,
Roger.
you're heading to reciprocal of the vessel.
Which is about 30 degrees.
Yeah, something like that. And you can see yourself in the cameras. Maybe a squirt forward now, Danny. So what's happening now? You see the guys, the people, manhandling the tether. So the people handling the tether.
Yes.
Try it again, Dan. If you go too fast, it's going to be tough on them because they're feeding that out, and it's back coiled on the back of the boat, as you know.
Yeah. I'm just barely giving it some ahead.
Yeah, so the vessel's moving ahead, and now you're in the goalposts, so now you can keep giving ahead, and you'll watch in your aft cam. You'll pick up the tether.
Nav deck, we have tether out.
So tether's out. You can
Copy, tether out.
And depending on the weather, and then now you can lateral to stay in the goalpost. Depending on the weather and the current, which usually the navigator will tell you before we launch, is how hard you're doing that. If you don't have any of that, you watch your wire cam there. And watch Atalanta bucking in the traces, ready to go. Come on, Dad, let's go.
Okay.
And if it's bucking pretty hard,
I'm just following the slope.
yeah. So he's releasing the lines now, so he pulls it back a little. Now you can give her full ahead.
Okay, full ahead.
Yeah. So it's off the deck or sliding, so now you're pulling against the tagline, so you want to keep pulling on it to keep it straight and from bouncing around in the A-frames or hitting the vessel. What am I missing here? I got all my... I'll usually wait to enable Atalanta's thrusters because occasionally the taglines can get wrapped up in there. So we don't want the thrusters enabled or spinning.
Okay.
You're watching mostly your tether. Don't get too fixated on the ultraviolence that can be happening with Atalanta. And also depending on how on it your co-pilot is over here. You should be watching the winch, but you can also glance at it.
Okay.
Because the deck operators...
You gonna bring
Nav deck, we have Atalanta away.
Copy, Atalanta away.
if I could figure out where to turn them on. Yep.
Hercules is dive, dive, dive.
Nice.
Okay, do I start going down?
Yep. As soon as Johan says that, you can give her full beans down. And then be aware that they are only doing 11 meters a minute. You want to keep your delta at 0 now. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where that button is. Sorry, I lagged on that. ONC CTD is on.
Okay, I have a 5 meter delta.
Yeah, you want to be below it a little. I want to get down below the spinny things as quick as we can. But not too fast because we're compressing all the air and all whatever is happening on the... What am I missing here? isolation. Isn't there one I have to turn on?
No, it's automatic.
Is it all auto magic now?
Yep.
I thought there was one I had to turn on.
Okay, going down at 15.
Yeah, she's gonna all stop, and usually we do a pause at 50 just to make sure we're not, you know, bleeding to death or shorting out. And we should also 0 tether wraps and 068. That should be a 50-meter tick box for nav, actually, if you want to add another one to your list. Yeah, 068 and 0 tether. It could be right there when you turn the mezzos on, because at that point we're all lined up, and the ROV operators will have been famously known for forgetting to do that, because we're not called by any checklist over here.
Are you all okay if I switch to the dive salvo?
You good for dive salvo, Danny?
Yeah.
Usually we wait till 50 meters.
Yeah, we'll wait till 50 meters, and then once we get wrench control up here, we'll switch over.
Okay,
Yeah.
copy that.
I'm watching the wire on the big screen here.
Okay.
Excellent.
Nav, deck, all stop at 50, transferring control.
Roger, ready for control. We have assumed control.
Okay.
Thank you, Dick.
Okay.
Okay,
We're going down at 100%.
Yeah, we all looking good. So now I do a reality check. Gauges are good. I'll switch to the dive salvo if you're ready.
Go ahead.
Dive salvo. And I will have a look at the gouges, if I can find a controller. Yeah. Gauges are good.
Okay, I'm going down
What
at
is
26 meters a minute. 27.
12.76667. Is that what you see there? Or 12.77777? You're going down at what?
Right now, I am at 30 meters a minute.
30. You're crazy.
I can slow down.
Yeah, I'd like to take it. Depends on the weather.
Okay.
So
I can go a little slower.
historically, till I get 5,000 pounds on that wire,
Okay.
I have seen it come loose on the deck now. And, you know, I've seen it hit the deck. But that's more extreme weather.
Gotta let you catch up.
Yeah, I'll come a little faster.
About 25 meters a minute.
So now you want to have about, to be conservative, 25% forward here.
Oh,
till we get-
25%?
Yeah. I'll usually pull on it pretty hard till we get down. And that's,
Oh, I have auto heading on. That's
yeah, that's okay. That
okay.
way you know you're not getting wrapped around the axle, and I'll pull on it hard, and that puts a little scope in the wire. So if it is bouncing, it's, you know, not bouncing straight up and down.
Okay.
So yeah, I sometimes leave it, you know, 50% forward. Keep pulling on it. And I'm watching my nav screen now. And my sonars. You can pull that onto probably.
A little harder.
Yeah, so I don't have auto head on yet. So, because I'm, you know, turning stuff on and writing stuff in the book, blah, blah, blah. Checking my email. Okay, I'll set 20 meters a minute. How about that?
Okay.
I got it.
Hey, Amber, I don't know why, but I can't stop recording 1C and 1D, so if you
So Josh was using Z-bias to dive the other day.
I do not like that.
You do not like that. Okay. I what I'm confirming.
So the reason, usually there's a method to my madness. I've seen this ROV plow into the seabed more than once because
Forgot to zero to Z-bias.
they have a combination of Z-bias and stick lock, and it's right at shift change. We're right coming down, and the new pilot sits down there, and it's often chaotic in here at shift change,
Yes.
or watch change. And everything's great, we're coming down, we're doing our da-da-da-da, and Z-bias is at 100%, just waiting to bite ya.
Okay. I'm going down a little fast. Slow down a little bit.
So the reason they do use Z-bias is they can dial the speed a little easier, but I just come in and out of stick lock. I like one button and I have control of it.
Yeah.
One of the first things I do when I sit down in that chair, depending, but I'll often hit 0 Z-bias.
Makes sense.
Because a lot of the pilots have it dialed so close that if you thrust down a little too hard, the momentum of the vehicle, 6,000 pounds of Hercules headed for the seabed, it doesn't stop. It just, the velocity carries you right into the rocks. And it's embarrassing to sit down and then, hit the rocks or stuff it in the mud and trash the viz.
Okay.
So I'll at the very least, I'll glance at Z-bias and see what it is, and I'll give the knob a twist so it's, somewhere in the teens. Because the sciencey types especially, Gabby, Trevor, like the Z-bias really close because they're doing the flying zooms. At this point, I should have the craft hotted up, so that will be less likely to take on seawater. And I should also be ready to,
Test functions.
turn the thrusters on Atalanta. Gosh. We usually don't have, do we usually have auto heading on the way down?
Not until we
Hey,
get it
sorry.
close to bottom, I think,
I
is
don't know
when we turn
why
on auto heading.
it's not responding.
I'm gonna I'm gonna turn on your
Oh my god,
downlights.
that was
Okay,
so simple.
downlights coming on.
Oh my god.
And I'm gonna hot
Alright,
up the craft.
all good.
So you gotta hold your finger on the close button issue. I don't know if you know that.
Yes, because if you don't, it'll just open right up.
Yeah, which could be bad.
Right, yeah. Oh my god. I'm so sorry I had you come all the way up here. I just like... Okay, well... Great. Okay. You can get back into bed. Yeah.
Hey, there's the,
Okay. Oh, whoops. Hold on, I didn't go to the right. Right.
we get the Humboldt squid. These neck of the woods. Okay, craft is hot.
Alright. Okay. Sorry.
Pan your camera a bit here. I do like to see all critters all the time, even if we're going fast. Is that a Humboldt squid? Big red guy? You might turn the lasers on. Sometimes you can get them to, they'll chase the lasers like a cat with a toy, usually on the seabed. We've had them as we're going along and the laser shines off a rock, they'll come in and grab the rock and pick it up and throw it. It's almost like they're playing.
Is this a good time for us to do our introductions?
It's a great time to do introductions.
Great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in on nautiluslive.org or on YouTube. As a reminder, you can submit your questions on nautiluslive.org. If you're on YouTube, you have to go to our website to submit your questions, and we're here to answer them. My name is Jamie Zachariah. I'm sitting in the comm seat today, and I'm really excited to introduce everyone in the control van for the very beginning of our H2032 dive onto the main Endeavour fields.
Dan, can you run it on upper and lower cams?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I gotta find the right button.
Hello everyone, I'm Steph Golub and I'm going to be logging all of our operations for Ocean Networks Canada today.
Hello everyone, I'm Danny Hinshaw. I'm a Hercules pilot for the descent.
Hello everyone, I'm Anna Sagatov. I am the video engineer on today's dive.
Hey everyone, I'm Johan Becker and I'm the navigator for our dive today.
Good morning, good evening, good day. Dan from the co-pilot chair. Madly pushing buttons over here. I have no idea what all these buttons do, but I think they're all supposed to be turned on. Orbit is turned on. Master Bunny, if you're listening back there anywhere.
I do not see Master Bonnie in the room yet.
Probably can't call him Master anymore. I call him that because he recently got his master's degree. Now working on his PhD.
So Jamie, what's going on with this dive tonight?
Well, we are diving once again on the main Endeavour vent field. We've got some science, we've got some maintenance to do, potentially observing some changes to the vent field. We don't know yet, but we haven't set eyes on it yet since the earthquake swarm in March. So there are potential to see some changes from that. And if you're interested in that, there is a blog on nautiluslive.org called After the Earthquakes that explains a little bit about what happened, how we measured it, how Ocean Networks Canada is continuing to measure seismic activity there, and what we're hoping to see during this dive and the rest of the expedition.
Ooh, can't wait to see some more vents.
You know what I'm hoping to see during this dive?
What?
A 3D map displayed on the big screen.
Oh.
Yes. I'd love to see that.
That would
Rumor has it that the AUV survey that Ari performed here several years ago has been published, and it's in the ONC database somewhere.
That sounds really cool to see.
If you look online or Google Mbari AUV Endeavour vent field, you'll see a very cool article with some very cool 3D maps, high resolution 3D maps made by their AUV. And you get a nice picture of it, but it's like a PDF. You can't fly the ROV around in it like a video game. But if one had a GeoTIFF, published data,
That'd be a nice
displayed on
overlay
the
for
nav
our
screen,
nav screen.
or on HiPAC, we could flash it up with FlighterMouse, which is a 3D mapping program that costs millions of dollars. You'll have this over there, madly right-clicking.
Where is it?
No takers? So are those Humboldt squid, or are they some other kind of I'm asking a room full of engineers after.
Yes,
Do
you
we have
are.
any marine biologists in here?
Let's give it a Google.
Oh, maybe see
I'm
if
not allowed to Google from the front row.
we got to see if
That's
Megan Putz is
discouraged.
listening. Maybe she can chat.
Megan, are you tuned in? What time is it in Hawaii? Oh, she's not. She's sleeping.
What time is it in Hawaii? 11 o'clock?
Past her bedtime.
Yeah, she has to work tomorrow.
I think the squid are feeding on the fish that are traveling with us.
So for those of you just turning in, this is our 4th dive of Expedition NA 161, which is celebrating our 8th year of partnership between Ocean Exploration Trust and Ocean Networks Canada. Let the record show Dan does not read the dive plan.
Yeah. Although our real first task is collecting this sediment trap.
Yes.
So maybe we can land a little closer. It's not very far, but be about 100 meters from JB12 though.
Lasers are off.
I took the blue one that's on the table over there yesterday.
Ooh, jelly.
It's video, radio.
Jake, you want to introduce yourself since you just walked in?
Yeah, my name is Jake Bonney. I am an ROV pilot sitting on this watch, midnight to noon.
Different team members have different watch schedules for this expedition, so it's a very fun game of musical chairs in the control van here.
Sweet.
If you can, Jake, I'm going to go 100% downs. And we're not doing transect protocols, so you can follow me on the winch.
Okay. I'm gonna guess you're gonna go 30 meters a minute.
I was doing earlier at 100. So Dan said pump the brakes a little bit.
Pump the brake. Well, maybe less. Oh, we are a little bit light.
We are a little light.
All right. 25.
I'm wondering if these are bristle mouths, these fish, if anybody has any insight into that, if we've got any marine biologists on the line.
We've got viewers from all over, so hopefully someone from one of these continents will be able to help us identify some of these critters.
Ooh, where do we have viewers from tonight?
Let's see. Well, the US, UK, and Canada showing up strong. We have India, Germany, Guam.
Whew.
Special shout out to Amanda from Guam, who is one of our 2024 Science Communication Fellows and will be sailing later on in the season. Thanks for tuning in, Amanda. It's nice to hear from you, even virtually. And I love that you called this a squad of squid.
That's a new term, isn't it?
How many viewers do we have tuned in right now?
We've got a good amount, and then we're climbing up. We're climbing past 30 and keep going up.
As we keep going down.
Right
Sorry.
now, ETA is about 76 minutes to bottom.
Oh, got it, sorry.
So, Steph, you work for Ocean Networks Canada.
I do.
Want to tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. I am a data steward. So on this expedition, my job is to log everything that we're doing so we can track all of the metadata for our system. Metadata is very important to our team. We like to get timestamps when things are connected or disconnected, track what's recovered or deployed in the sea. So there's a lot of things that we focus on that helps just maintain all the information so we can make it available to everyone. There's a lot of stuff. We also have a couple people supporting us on shore. Hi, Grant and Sarvi. They're doing the midnight shift tonight too. So that's really nice for us. So when I need a break or have a question, they're there to help us out and get that information, which is super helpful. And yeah, so that's mostly what we do. We're just tracking a lot of the instruments, and yeah, there's a lot more to it, but won't go into all the details.
Well, ONC makes all of their data available, right?
Yeah, that's something that started before I joined, but we've made a lot of efforts to adhere to FAIR principles, which is to make all of our data findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable. So there's a big push for that to make open science, which is great.
One of the many things that ONC and OET have in common is our desire for open access data.
Yeah, that's why it's such a good partnership.
A great partnership. Like peanut butter and jelly. Is that something Canadians eat too?
Yeah.
You're not that different from us.
No, we're not. We also have peanut butter and jelly in Canada.
We have some viewers tuning in from Quebec, from New Zealand, all over. All different time zones too.
It's a great bedtime view, you know. Blue water, really tranquil, relaxing.
This would be a really good screensaver, just the blue water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get tired of this.
No.
Have you guys heard of Slow TV? It's like a Norwegian thing. It's just this, I don't know if I'd call it a trend, but it's essentially like you just watch a show of like a train going on the track and, or, you know, just a really, it's basically watching a screensaver, but it's supposed to relax you. So, I don't know. Yeah.
We should pitch blue water to them.
Totally.
Is that kind of like when you have the, like the digital fireplace
Yeah.
for Christmas?
Yep.
I know I go to bed, do Nautilus live streams every once in a while. Turn the
Oh.
volume down, put on a little music, and have blue water, or
Yeah.
whatever you guys are doing. I mean, so many transects. It's a lot of fun. I'd much rather be out here than doing that, but
Whoa, these little things floating up.
Oh,
Just some jellies probably.
Danny,
squid
Jake,
is
do you guys
following
want
us.
to check your ATA heading? Looks like you're spinning a little bit. I know it's still a little off, but
yeah, you are spinning a little bit.
pull tight.
I like this curious squid. Just hanging out. Oh, there it goes.
Atalanta is not auto-hitting, on auto-hitting. My heading hasn't changed.
we have a viewer who's letting us know that there are quite a few types of squid in Canada, including Humboldts, but they believe that Humboldts are currently closer to Southern California right now, but also put the disclaimer that they are not an expert. Thank you for the honesty and the information.
Yeah.
I want to have you drive ahead.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking on.
You can just take your, you got enough delta where you can just take off the verts and just drive ahead. Just stretch out the tether.
Okay. Oh, you're going way fast.
I'm trying to, I fallen behind a bit, like 20, I was like 20 meter delta, so.
Yeah.
And then if you drive ahead, it'll straighten us out and pull Atalanta's heading around. Yeah, okay, now you can start going down again too. Still drive ahead. Yeah, there it goes. You can actually keep driving ahead until you see Herc like in the middle of there and the tether flat.
Yeah.
Anna, you have a pretty interesting career.
Well, that's so sweet of you to say. Thank you.
Would you like to share?
Oh, goodness. I guess so. Sure, yeah. Well, what I do on the Nautilus is I am a video
Go down
engineer.
a little bit forward.
So that means that I am in charge of controlling basically like what video signals go to which outputs. So we've got so many cameras. Just on Hercules alone, we have like, I think 10 cameras. And so then we also have cameras all over the van, and we have them on the deck of the boat. So, and then we also have PC cameras, just monitors, and so part of what I do is control what goes where, and that also includes to the live stream. So, yeah, I am also in control of the zoom and the iris and the focus of the cameras on the ROV. So both Hercules and Atalanta. So while the pilots are controlling the position of the ROV in the water and the pan and tilt, I'll control the zoom and just how open the iris is, which means how much light is let in. And yeah, the focus. So that's very fun for me. And also, when I'm not doing this kind of work, I work in the film industry. I am an underwater cinematographer, so I film wildlife and also things like surfing, but I work on more traditional film sets as well. And so it gives me a lot of opportunity to see just interesting places, meet interesting people, and yeah, I'm very grateful for it. It's been a great career. Not always easy, but definitely worth it. So yeah, thanks for asking, Jamie.
Probably seen some really awesome things out there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's such a privilege to be able to see places in the world where maybe no human has ever seen before, and just also in terms of ONC, seeing all of this incredible engineering and technology that's been developed to help us monitor and understand the oceans. So yeah, honestly, this engineering, it just, everything that I learned while I'm here has just been blowing my mind. Like, there are some really, really brilliant people on this ship, and it's just, yeah, it's very, very cool to just, every conversation I have, I feel like I learn something new. So yeah, it's been a great cruise so far, and I'm excited to continue and see what else that we get done.
I definitely agree. I feel like I learned so many new things every single day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, look at
Do
that.
I need more forward?
Yeah, a little more forward.
Man.
Sometimes you got to give it like 20%.
Did you see what that was? I was just looking at you.
I just saw a pop of color. Too fast.
Oh, man.
We do have a viewer who would like to know what all of our favorite types of squid are.
Ooh.
And I have to think about that for a minute.
Does it have to be a squid, or can it be like a cephalopod?
I feel like it's safe to pick a cephalopod.
Okay, because I mean, like, cuttlefish are pretty cool. And I mean, there's so many octopuses, but I mean, they did ask about squid specifically. I don't know. I can't say that I know squid well enough, like different species of squid, to have a favorite, but I'm curious to know what their favorite is and why.
Yeah. My head is spinning around.
I would like to know that too.
That's fine, I guess.
My first thought was vampire squid, although I don't know if they're I don't know if they're considered traditionally squid. They're cephalopods, but they might not. I don't know that they're traditionally a type of squid.
Interesting.
Again, we need Megan.
Oh yeah.
Does anyone else have a squid they'd like to shout out to?
I can't say I do. Maybe just whatever the common squid you find in the mid-Atlantic is the only one I've really experienced swimming around.
What do you like about it, Johan?
They're just cool. They
Yeah.
kind of just like hang out on the edge of your view in a little squad and scooting around. Yeah.
Yeah, that is really cool. Scooting around in their squid squad.
You never see them because they're kind of translucent until you actually like look at it, and then you're like, oh.
They are very. Oh, sorry. But they're very efficient movers. It's pretty cool. One time on another research vessel, we found a squid that was, it was like sort of bouncing along the sea floor. And we had a cephalopod expert call in, and they told us that this squid is a species that only really, you find it in midwater, and it was encountering the sea floor possibly for the first time in its existence, and it was bouncing along it because it maybe like didn't know what it was.
Oh, no.
I know. Can you imagine, like, your entire life you're just free to move in any direction, and then one day it's just, there's the sea floor. Like, what do you do? You're like a never-ending boundary.
Existential crisis for squid.
I know. But yeah, I also love their chromatophores, which are their color-changing cells. So cool. I sometimes wonder if humans had chromatophores, like what that would be like, you know, if we could change the color of our skin just like based on our mood. Like there's this video of a squid, and it like splits its body color halfway because there's a competing male on one side and a female that's trying to impress on the other side. So
that's really cool.
Right.
I just looked up the vampire squid. It's not a squid at all. And it's not an octopus either. It's a mollusk.
Wow.
Interesting.
So it says according to the Mbari website, and I think we can trust it. It's a good source.
Mm-hmm.
It says that it's a part of a different group based on its unique features.
Ooh.
There you go.
That makes sense. I knew they were a cephalopod, but they're not technically a squid. I wonder who named it. A lot of the students that we interact with have been asking us, why is it called the vampire squid? And I don't know the answer, but it definitely gives like Gary Oldman circa 90s Dracula vibes. So that's, I'm assuming, why it's called a vampire squid.
Ooh.
They're pretty
I'm
cool
gonna have
looking.
to Google this guy now.
Oh yeah, we have on our Nautilus Live, on our YouTube and our page, we have a really cool vampire squid video that I really sometimes just watch over and over because I really like it.
Whoa, yeah, this thing is gorgeous. Oh yeah, I've seen the video that we have on the Nautilus website of this one. Steph, does it say what its little, I don't know what you would call the little appendages. They look kind of like wings, like or ears, but they're obviously not either of those things.
Just referencing this. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Oh, like flaps. I don't know. Hold on.
I think they're just fins.
Yeah.
Well, not just, but like, no, for propulsion or something. Like the Dumbo octopus has the big ones.
Yeah.
I think we found our happy heading. I was fighting it, that's why it kept spinning around.
Okay, yeah. This article is like, they have two small ear-like fins on either side as their only method of propulsion. Only method? But I mean, you'd think that they would like use their little, you know, like this. But maybe they, I mean, I don't know. This is an Ocean Conservancy article, so I don't know. I don't know.
We're learning so much about the vampire squid.
For the record, anyone just tuning in, we have not seen one.
No.
Don't get too excited, but you can watch our video of one on our YouTube or on nautiluslive.org.
Yeah, just looking at this blue water, it's like, you know when you kind of like look out into the ocean or into the sky and your mind wanders, or like when you're looking at clouds and you're like, what do you see? It's kind of like, you know, just...
You never know.
Yeah, just what's on your mind. But yeah, what about the engineering though?
What would you say?
What about the engineering we're going to be doing tonight though?
Yeah, I'd like to hear more about that. Who's our best person to ask about that?
I mean, probably AJ when he's here, but what do you want to know? Let's see if I can...
Well, I know we've got some maintenance to do.
Yep. So we're going to... One of the sediment traps that we deployed yesterday? 2 days ago? What day is it? We're going to reposition. So that's going to be one of our first tasks. And we're going to swap out a camera.
Ooh.
So, yeah, that's one that we would have seen in our last dive. And we're get some more gas tight samples, and we're going to do some photogrammetry tonight. Well, hopefully do some photogrammetry tonight.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
Hey, Steph, what's photogrammetry for those of us who don't know?
So glad you asked me that question, because I don't really know.
Oh, well, I actually do. So.
Oh, you do? Great.
Hey, Anna, what's photogrammetry?
Photogrammetry is it's when you collect many images and use that to create a 3D image. So you can use cameras at multiple angles, and that creates just like a 3D image of what you're doing. So I've worked in the past with scientists who have taken photogrammetry images of coral reefs with a drone, and so yeah, they were monitoring how much the coral reefs grew over time, and so they measured it over the years to see the growth. And it was really, we were working with some really powerful cameras, and they were able to measure down to the polyp. So it was very cool to see the 3D map of the coral reef in the previous year and then the following years. So yeah, it should be interesting, and especially with the changes that have likely occurred in these hydrothermal events over the past couple of years. Yeah, should be interesting. And then what about the camera that we're going to be, you said replacing?
We're just recovering it today.
Oh.
There will be, yeah.
How long has it been down there?
That is another good question, which I don't exactly know. I can look it up.
Sure. Do you know what the camera was monitoring?
It was... These are a lot of tough questions for me. No, I just... one thing in... oh, okay, Sarvi just let me know. It's been down there since 2021.
Nice.
So the science team usually requests these to... I think it's been monitoring some of the biology at one of the vent fields. But at within our team, we all have different responsibilities for different devices, so we don't always know all the details, but someone does. So Sarvi is an instrument point person, we call it, for cameras. I actually am now too, but very recently, so I don't have all the details yet.
Cool,
Thanks,
you.
Sarvi.
So from an OET perspective, I love this cruise because it's different than what we normally do. Normally we visit a place with ROV Hercules, and it's the only time we'll see that place, and we probably won't go back because there's so much to visit. We'll see a seamount, and it's beautiful and amazing, but we're probably not going to go back to that place. And so we're exploring, you know, in space, kind of. But with these expeditions, you have these sites that we go back to year after year, and it's more like exploring in time and seeing the changes. And it's different. It's a different type of thing than what we normally do, and a really cool contradiction. And there's of course similarities and differences, but it's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's some sites we don't go back to for years, like the Cork site we went to the other day. I think that was the first time we've ever visited that site. So, or it's maybe been like over a decade, I'm not sure, but that, yeah, we got some coordinates for it, so I don't think we've ever visited it before, so it's cool to see stuff like that. There's always new opportunities.
Oh yeah, we don't have a... Well, we do have a USBL.
In terms of landing, so in the bigger scheme of things, you see we have the edge of the Rift Valley here, so we don't want to get too close to that. And then there's all these tall vents to our north and south.
But we're off to the side right now, kind of.
Right, yeah, we're in a pretty good spot. Our goal is to kind of start here, but then move down to this spot, which is our last known sediment trap location. So if I move at a maybe 50 meters at 030, put us here, we're kind of in the safe zone with all the vents and the edge of the valley, and can maybe take a peek at this and then come around back down this way.
So normally how we, you know, slow down, go manual at 100, we do things even a little bit slower in this type of environment. So we are just very aware of our surroundings, and we'll bring Hercules underneath far before. So like, I don't know, 75 meters off bottom, bring Hercules underneath Atalanta, and then go down slowly, and then we'll see in the sonars will usually light up with all the vents around it.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Are you guys in a good spot if I call in that ship move 50 at 030? Great.
Yeah, good.
bridge, nav. Can we have a ship move 50 meters at 030, please? You can finish up your heading change, no rush.
Steph, can you tell us more about the sediment traps that we deployed and are repositioning?
What would you like to know?
How do they work and how long are they down there for?
Another good question, how long? I think we usually keep them down there for about a year, but of course that depends on our availability or weather windows or things like that to access them. So we deploy them, they're usually, depending on the model, a certain height above the seafloor. And they basically work like a giant funnel, especially the one that we're going to visit tonight. It just looks like a big ice cream cone. And we collect sediment, and then underneath the cone, it funnels into a small bottle. And there is a little carousel of about, I don't know, 20, 25 bottles, something like that. And when it fills, it just rotates, or I can't remember if it's on a time lapse or if it's when it fills. But yeah, so basically when all of those are filled, then it stops, and then the scientists can study what's in those samples. Yeah, I don't know exactly all the research that goes into it, but yeah, I know we've been doing them for quite a long time, so.
I believe I was talking to Steve, and if I understand correctly, these ones go down for about a year, I think, and each canister is deployed after 2 weeks, so if there's like 20-something of them, that would make sense, and then they're recovered, and I guess then they can compare the sediment over time.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of good information in that dirt.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, also like falling marine snow and things like that. So yeah, definitely a lot to keep them busy.
Thank you to our viewers who are giving us some sources for additional vampire squid knowledge. We appreciate you. Here's a fun question. Someone would like to know, what item do we all miss the most when we're on ship? I mean, I without hesitation, my dog.
Aww.
Does that qualify as an item?
No, but I just miss her so much.
I miss my kitty cats.
Item.
Yeah.
Honestly, I miss nature. I was telling Johan, I was looking at like Instagram posts of rainforests right before we started the dive, because I miss the scent of being in nature, because on the ship you just kind of, I mean, I love it out here, of course, but when you get back to land and you just smell a tree, you're just, oh, it's so nice.
Anyone else have some items that they particularly miss?
I don't know.
My cats.
Cats.
My cats.
Wait, who said cats? Was that Jake or Johan?
It was Jake and Danny.
Oh, Danny, you miss your cats too?
I do. I miss my Maine Coon.
Oh, Maine Coons are the best. Oh, that's awesome.
I miss my other 2 cats too, but my Maine Coon's my baby.
What's the Maine Coon's name?
That would be Missy.
Oh, Missy.
Cute.
Because she is Miss in all shapes and forms. She thinks she is royalty.
My dog's name is Queen, and she thinks she's one, so I get it.
Perfect. Did you say Johan too? Mrs. Katz?
No, I don't have cats.
Oh, it was
unfortunately.
Jake. Oh, okay. Jake,
Yeah.
what are your cats' names?
Doja Cat and Bernadette.
Oh, who's Bernadette named after?
Just, you know, I liked the name Bernie.
Yeah, that's really cute. Amber has some cats too, but they're like hypoallergenic cats that have really...
the little hairless ones?
They're not fully hairless. They have like just a short layer of fur. They're very unique looking.
Still very cute though.
Mm-hmm. I wish I had a cat, but alas.
Oh.
It's okay.
You have a plant now.
Yeah.
Didn't Allison give you a plant?
Yeah, she gave me a pothos. That was really, really sweet of her. I appreciate that very much.
Good news is temperature.
Do you have it on board?
Solid.
Yes, but she had it on board first, so I don't know.
It's been like, I think, passed around.
Yeah.
Nautilus.
Yeah.
Nautilus pet.
Initially, I wanted to put it in a public place, but I wasn't sure where it would be safe.
Yeah. Got to make sure it's tied down because the weather gets kind of rocky out here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like that maple syrup jug.
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard
night.
about the maple syrup that nearly took you out.
It really, yeah. But yeah, thankfully the seas are much calmer. Apparently it's supposed to get a little crazy on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll have to make sure everything is secure.
Mm-hmm.
No maple syrup incidents.
Yeah.
Speaking of Canadian foods, we have a cheeky listener who says you must be missing eating poutine? Poutine? I'm sorry, I'm American. How do you say it?
Poutine.
Poutine.
I mean, it depends if you ask someone from Quebec.
Oh.
I mean, it's a French-Canadian food.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest fan of poutine, so I'm not missing it. I don't know how about others. I think I'm the only Canadian in the room right now, so.
Isn't poutine like French fries covered in cheese?
And gravy.
It has cheese curds. It's very important.
Cheese curds and gravy.
It's cheese curds and gravy.
Yeah.
What about ketchup chips? What's the deal with those?
Oh, I do like ketchup chips.
I like them too.
I have to say, I tried all dressed chips for the first time last year.
The best.
Yeah.
And I actually went home and ordered them online.
Yeah.
I paid an arm
really
and a
good.
leg to get them, but they were amazing.
Understandable.
Oh, I wish I
Kinda
would have
chip.
known. I would have brought you some
All
all-dressed
dressed?
chips.
Well, we're going back to Canada.
It's a
So.
Canadian thing.
Stock
Yeah.
up.
No, I've
Yes.
seen them in the U.S.
Really?
Not all the time, but every once in a while.
Wow. Like in
I find
northern
that
states?
funny because, like, when I go to the States, I go into a grocery store in the U.S. It's just wild. You guys have so many flavors and varieties of
yeah.
everything. It's like
Pick
there's
your
a whole
flavor of
aisle
chemical.
for like cookies, and it's like we have like
Yeah, we do.
2 types of Oreos.
Because we are dominated by the snack food super giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually just have a question. What snacks did you pack? Since we're on snack talk.
Hot tamales,
Goldfish.
nerds gummies,
Yeah. I'm
beef jerky.
a trail mix kind of gal.
Sour gummies.
Miso soup packets.
Oh.
Snickers bars.
SPKs.
SPKs.
Dark chocolate.
It's basically a shopping list on SPL.
Oh man, I don't know what possessed me, but I got 2 pomegranates and a mango in Canada, which is like so silly. But I was like, maybe.
I mean, we have good produce.
I know, we do, but we don't have pomegranates and
I'm
mangoes.
kind of loving the watermelon at my breakfast.
Yeah, watermelon is so good for breakfast.
Yeah.
Every day.
Keeps the
Definitely-
scurvy away.
Yeah, top 3 fruits.
And the eggs have no business being as good as they are.
Yeah, the food is excellent. I've always been...
Yeah, shout out to our chefs who keep us well fed
Yeah.
and happily fed.
I think I'll miss when I'm back on land having to cook again.
I know.
Atlanta,
They give us so many options.
I think we're okay. Oh, I just saw Atlanta kind of swing, but so did Herc.
Apologies, viewers. I hear we're making you hungry. Same.
I'm sure you have snacks at home.
Maybe
Salty.
not all dressed in ketchup chips, though.
Well, I know viewers in the U.S. could actually, head over to Taco Bell and get all the food they want.
Oh, Danny, is that what you're missing?
A little bit.
Guilty pleasure right there. Taco Bell.
Yeah, it's not the greatest food. It's definitely not considered Mexican food, but
It's its own genre.
Yeah.
it's got a special place in my heart.
Just like the
Aw.
vampire squid.
Just think of vampire. Taco Bell is the vampire squid of cephalopods. I don't know.
Pizza.
What did we talk about on SPL during the descent? Vampire squids and Taco Bell.
Stay tuned for more, everybody.
But today's Monday, but last night was Sunday, and it was Ice Cream Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
We're having one of our viewers remembers that we have Ice Cream Sundays.
Aww.
We do? Was that at
Yeah,
dinner?
did you miss the
Yeah.
ice cream?
I was sleeping.
Bummer. Well,
I actually made it this time. I'm usually sleeping at that time, but I had to get up, and I was like, well, since I'm awake, I'll have dinner.
yeah, Justin, our data engineer, had ice cream first because he was so excited about his ice cream. He's also been sick for the past couple days, so I feel like he gets a pass. Like dessert first is allowed.
Yeah, well,
when
everyone
you're not
knows you
feeling
have to
well.
have ice cream when you're sick.
Yeah, yeah.
It's an unwritten rule.
What's everyone's favorite ice cream flavor?
Cookies
Pistachio.
and cream.
Cookies and cream, excellent choice. I feel like I have a hard time choosing just one.
Coffee.
Coffee's such a good one.
I want ice cream.
Yeah.
Mm.
And to clarify, we have a lot of questions coming in about snacks. To clarify, we do bring our own snacks, but there are also many snacks provided. We never go hungry on Nautilus.
Yeah, no, we're not like the sailors of old that just have like,
Yeah, here's one lime
yeah,
to keep the scurvy away for the next month.
and like
It's
a
not like
stale
that.
biscuit. Yeah, no, we're happy, healthy, and scurvy free.
For now.
Sure, yeah, we've got what, like 20 more days? Plenty of time to develop scurvy.
Oh, look at that. What's that? Oh,
No,
in the corner. Oh, no, it's not.
I
Too
love
quick.
I think
invertebrates.
you're starting to pass me a little bit. It's a crapshoot.
Yeah, like when you're younger, or at least maybe I'm speaking very broadly, I feel like it's all about the megafauna. But I don't know, the older I get, the more I'm interested in the tinier, less conspicuous
Conspicuous? Yeah.
critters.
I know, they're so cool. I made a video about this one creature. It's called, oh no, I forgot it. But basically, it's an amphipod. Oh, Hyperiid amphipod. And so it's like this little amphipod that it hollows out a salp, which is like kind of like a tunicate, but it's basically, it looks like a bell. And the amphipod it's what inspired the xenomorph in the Alien movies.
Say less.
Right? So it's crazy looking. But then it hollows out another animal to use as a house, and it swims around inside of it, which is just
So
insane.
metal.
I know, right?
I feel like any critter that we come across down here at Endeavor is going to be just...
It's the most metal of all the sea
Yeah.
creatures. I mean, they're living, like, the word extremophiles, love it. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of a better word.
I'm an extremophile file.
Really.
Because I love extremophiles.
Do you want to tell us about some of the critters we may or may not encounter during our dive to Endeavor?
Oh, sure. Well, on last night's dive, we saw many, many tube worms, and I think what's most fascinating about these animals is that scientists are studying them to understand the origins of life on Earth, and that is very cool because they live in these places that are just so, what the rest of, organisms on Earth would think of as inhospitable. A lot of them are chemosynthetic, and so it's just fascinating knowing that life can evolve in so many extraordinarily different and seemingly hostile conditions. So yeah, tube worms. What else did we see last night? We saw a couple I was about to call them nightmare crabs, but I don't want anyone to think I'm misidentifying something or making something up. But they looked like something out of a nightmare. I don't think we ever got a positive ID on them, but yeah, because, yeah. And then, let me think. I think we saw you know, a couple fish, and then brittle stars, sea urchins, but those were kind of like on the way. So yeah, but on the vents, it was mostly the tube worms, as far as I remember. And then I think Fabio, our biologist on board, said something about limpets as well. But yeah, Fabio is gonna look at this whale fall that they've been monitoring for many years. So,
and that's at a Clayoquot slope?
I don't remember the name of the dive site.
I'm not pronouncing it right.
Clayoquot?
Clayoquot slope? Yeah, that's not this site.
No.
But later on in the expedition.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I hope our
No.
viewers
I just wanted to clarify. I'm very excited to go to the whale fall. Not that I'm not excited for Endeavour. That's just two different types of excitement. Two different things. But yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, you never know.
To be excited about.
Maybe we'll find another whale fall.
Oh man,
that would be statistically amazing.
Absolutely.
Someone says, someone's nightmare crab could be someone else's dream crab.
That's beautiful.
That's very true. I apologies to what I called a nightmare crab.
Hey Jake, how far down are we going today?
2,194 meters. Approximately. Give or take.
I wonder what is that tall, like what mountain is that tall? You know how like have you ever seen those infographics that are like, this is how deep the Mariana Trench is, and like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm curious to know. I kind of might look up what is
Well, for Americans, we'll have to put it in miles.
Right. True.
Actually, I think Mauna Kea is the tallest mountain in the world.
So 2,000 meters is, it says, about 1.24 miles.
Oh. 1.24 miles. That's runnable. That's not that far.
Yeah, just go ahead and run it. See how that goes for you.
Yeah, just lay a cable from that from end to end, and that's how long our cable is.
Wow.
It is crazy. It gives you a really interesting perspective on just like space. I think about distance so much differently now that I measure in ROVs.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, Danny, what did you say about the tallest mountain?
I believe Mauna Kea is the tallest mountain in the world.
Hawaii, from
because it's from it's a seamount.
Oh.
So it goes from seafloor to peak.
Wow, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
And who was it? Someone just a couple years ago did the summit in a sub and then got out and hiked.
Victor Vescovo.
That doesn't count.
Victor Vescovo did that.
Is that the person who's like the deeps, did all the deeps?
Yes, that's the 7 Deeps expedition.
7 Deeps. That's an, if you want a book recommendation, The Deepest Map, by a woman named Laura, and I cannot pronounce her last name, I apologize, but she was a journalist and she has been out on Nautilus and writes a lot about Nautilus and many other expeditions to measure the deep sea. It's a good book.
Wow.
The Deepest Map?
Yeah. Well, now I'm like doubting myself. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
Also
Laura
don't know how to-
Trethewey. Again, I apologize if I'm butchering your last name, but the book is very good.
Is it Laura L-A-R-A or L-A-U-R-A?
L-A-U-R-A.
Oh, okay.
And even in the first chapter, we get a shout out to good old Rennie.
Oh, he's wonderful. My sister's name is Laura L-A-R-A, so, you know, it's not so common. And
Yeah.
shout out to Laura. She's so cool.
There's a lot of great books about ocean exploration.
Yeah.
You guys have favorites? Anything good you read lately for ocean fans?
A ship of gold in the deep blue sea.
Oh, A Ship of Gold. I've actually had that one recommended to me before too.
Yeah, it's really good. It's like a combination of, it goes through all the engineering that was done in order to go down and retrieve a lost treasure. And then also just like the story behind the people Yeah, it's a really good story.
Is that the guy who he like ran away with a bunch of gold and went to prison?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He never ran away, I don't think. But he just didn't tell them where he put the gold.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what it is.
It's an interesting story. There's a lot of also legal stuff involved, and with what goes on in deep sea treasure, and it's a whole
Ship of Gold is called?
mess. Ship of Gold in the deep blue sea.
All right.
Shipwrecks.
I think I read it last year on one of the cruises. I couldn't put the book down. It was really good.
Wow.
It's quite the recommendation.
Yeah, it is. I have a recommendation for anyone who's into stories of wildlife cinematographers. It's called Journeys in the Wild, Adventures of a Wildlife Cameraman, Cinematographer. I forgot exactly but it's by Gavin Thurston, who's a BBC cinematographer, and it's just a collection of short anecdotes about his adventures as a wildlife camera operator and all of just the insanity of his career. And there is a story about when he went down in a submersible to film yeti crabs for Blue Planet. And I don't want to spoil it.
No, don't spoil it, because I want to read it.
It's makes your heart race a little bit, but yeah, everything turns out okay. So yeah.
What was this one called?
Journeys in the Wild, and it's by Gavin Thurston.
Cool.
So we actually have a reading list on our website, but I don't know when it's been updated, so I am going to make it a point to update it. But there are already some really great book recommendations on there.
We got another recommendation from Grant on shore. He says, Longitude by Deva Sobel. Says it's a great book. That's all the info I got on it. But,
I mean, that's enough.
Yeah.
I read, it's not deep sea, but I read Shackleton, the story of Shackleton last year.
Shackleton's great.
Dude,
Whoa.
everyone loves Shackleton.
Crazy. They have a really nice, what's the word, exhibit on it? Well, it's like where the penguins are at the Detroit Zoo.
Oh.
If you're ever there.
Wow.
So
very cool.
I've got to do a call out because we are on the Nautilus, and it's kind of our namesake, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Dr. Ballard's favorite. Which I'm embarrassed to say I've never actually read it.
Me
neither. Me neither.
But hey, maybe this is the sign. We could do a book club, a Nautilus book club.
Let's do it. There's definitely at least a few copies on this ship.
You could have a book club.
It makes for a pretty good audiobook as well.
Oh.
Do you think we could finish it by the time?
What if, well, I don't know. I was thinking, what if we just read it during the descents?
Story
aloud?
time?
I mean,
what do the viewers think of that?
It's old enough book, right? It's got to be copyright free at this point.
Right? If it's over 100 years old.
Recently I read The Octopus's Garden, Hydrothermal Vents and Other Mysteries of the Deep Sea by Cindy Lee Van Dover. She's an Alvin pilot.
Oh, cool.
And quite a few of her chapters are about Endeavour, actually. So I read it to hype myself up for this cruise.
What'd she say about Endeavour?
What'd you say it was called?
The Octopus's Garden. I actually gave my copy to Brandon, who has it right now, and I told him when he's done, he better put it in the library so that everyone else can read it. So there is a copy on board.
Okay, great.
Floating around. It's not floating around, it's with Brandon. But yeah, it's cool to hear from an Alvin pilot.
Definitely. Wow.
We've got some people visiting our video engineer career page right now. I feel like maybe they got inspired.
What? Oh my goodness.
I know it's kind of creepy that I can see that, but yeah.
Aw, that's really sweet. Well, if they've got any questions for me, I'm happy to answer.
15 minutes to bottom.
15 minutes. Yeah.
So pilots, how many times have you dove on Endeavour?
First time with ONC was last year, so a handful of times, maybe 5 or 6 times now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
I can't remember how many dives we had last year.
I'm about the same boat. I don't remember. I have to look up in my dive log.
They do kind of blend together.
Danny, do you really keep a dive log?
Yeah, all of the pilots log the amount of time they have on sticks. That way they can use it for future endeavors and potential new
Future
employers.
endeavors?
Oh.
Sorry. No, that makes sense. Like a pilot who flies planes logs, yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Usually it just states, you know, how deep we're going, what vehicle we're running, how long we're on the co-pilot role, how long we're on the main Hercules pilot role.
Danny, how many, well, okay, so I guess, yeah, how many dives do you have on as a pilot?
I'm not going to be able to tell you that right offhand.
Oh, okay.
Not too many because I'm mostly co-pilot on my other vehicles that I operate.
Mm-hmm.
But on Hercules, I've been in this pilot chair, I don't know, a dozen or so times.
Nice. So do you work with other ROVs as well?
Yes, so I work with ROV Lukai, which is the University of Hawaii's Deep Submergence ROV. And I've been working with them since 2018 as a manipulator, operator, technician, co-pilot. Have gotten in the chair a few times under the pilot role, but most of the time I'm controlling the arms and making sure the wrench is running where we need it to go.
What's your favorite role with ROV piloting? Do you like the manip arm, or do you like piloting, or yeah?
Piloting allows me to use all my senses. I'm constantly analyzing all my different systems, making sure my vehicle's health is good, making sure we're in the right spot. There's a lot more involvement, which is great for my ADHD because I'm able to focus on 6 things at once.
Ooh.
But manipulating is kind of close to my heart because I have a knack for it, essentially. I create a 3D image in my mind of what I'm about to do, and I converge 4 different screens into one and turn it into a 3D image. So I can understand which way I need to move the arm, which way I need to move the wrist before I get to that point. And you have to think through every movement quite a bit to have a precise and controlled manipulation.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when you're handling complex scientific equipment, and there's only a limited amount of bottom time, so you've got to be efficient, but you have to be precise.
Yeah, definitely precise. I was so impressed last night watching the, what is the, so is the co-pilot the one who operates the manipulator arm, or?
For this cruise, we have a co-pilot operating manipulator arm, but normal science dives, the pilot will do both.
Yeah, it's super impressive seeing the level of precision that you guys have. It's, yeah, I'm just...
Danny, we're picking up a beam here and there.
Yep.
Just a heads up.
Ooh. But yeah, I feel like...
Jake, do you want to go to manual control?
I would maybe accidentally,
like
knock something with the manip arm elbow or something. And
yeah, it's definitely impressive.
Yeah.
What you guys do.
I'm not picking anything up in sonar yet.
Yeah, nothing in sonar yet, so...
Just a wee bit. Keep going until we get full Doppler beams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our target's going to be that IP right there?
Correct, this X.
Okay. So we look like we're pretty clear where we are.
Yeah, you're on the slope a little bit. That's probably why. It's a little early.
Yeah.
AJ's here. We can ask him about more tech stuff.
Oh, we still got 250 more meters.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
We picked up a couple beams, but it might have been erroneous.
Yeah, that happens sometimes in the water column too. Every now and then you get a beam or two.
That's an sonar, so everything's clear.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Would you like to introduce yourself to our viewers?
Sure, yeah. My name is AJ Barron. I'm a dive lead on this noon to midnight watch. No, midnight to noon. Sorry, that was me dreaming. And my day job at Ocean Networks Canada is Field Services Manager, and I'm a mechanical engineer by background.
We were trying to discuss some of the tech that we'll be working on today.
Yeah, well, we got to play with a sediment trap, which is, it's kind of funny. It's a very simple device. It's really just a big ice cream cone that collects falling detritus in the water column, but then it still has some high-tech components to it because it's got a pressure housing that runs a motor on a timer with batteries in it, so that every so often at a set interval it rotates the bottles such that we have sort of a corresponding window in time for all of that detritus and sediment, marine debris, so that we can see how it changes through time with fairly large intervals. So it would be every few weeks or once a month or something. We recover these once a year, and I think they have something like 21 bottles. So yeah, probably every 2 weeks or so. The scientists would know more about how that's set up. Yeah, they're pretty fun. We drop them from the surface, and then we have to go find them. So, yeah, Nav, I was going to ask, we tracked it. I don't know how far down we tracked it. It's got a Sonardyne beacon on it. Do you have the beacon address for that one?
I do. So it looks like we tracked it to the bottom.
Okay.
And that's the lat-lon that you have in the dive plan. But I also just gave it a few pings. And you can see on HiPAC, it's pretty much right where we have that on bottom marker as well.
Beauty. So it looks like the USBL hasn't sort of shifted much.
No, it's looking pretty good.
That's excellent. I know last year we were playing a bit of a guessing game because every time we'd come back to a site or the ship would do a move, the USBL markers were all off by some amount. So for this particular task of finding an old sediment trap, I remember spending a lot of time doing circles looking for it. So it's a really awesome improvement.
Yeah, Rennie did some work on the off-season tuning our USBL. That's great.
Some other tech we're going to be working on. We have to recover a camera, which is a pretty well-known type of instrument. We have it on a hydrothermal event right now, looking at some biological, what did Steve call it? Steph, do you remember? It was like a biological something or other.
Faunal assemblage?
Assemblage, yeah. Yeah,
I think that's what he said.
Faunal assemblage, which is a fancy way, I guess, of saying like a clump of hydrothermal vent worms and stuff. We're going to be replacing it with a new camera. We don't have the new camera with us now. It's going to come in a later dive. But the new camera it's the same camera we had down a few years ago called the Tempo Mini. I don't really know why it's called Tempo Mini. And it's built by some colleagues of ours at Ifremer in France. And it's replacing a camera that was like kind of an ONC in-house built camera.
Okay, we're starting to get beams, guys, so we're almost to bottom.
AJ, how does the footage
right.
from the camera get to land? Is it connected to the cables?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay,
The
cool.
cameras are all cabled, and it's one of the really nice things that cabled observatories get us is the ability to stream that much data and provide that much power subsea. So in kind of traditional autonomous oceanography, you know, everything is running on battery packs, and so it can only sample every so often, and so cameras would often just take stills, and then they'd be recovered, and you'd have a bunch of stills. And lights are also very power hungry, whereas we can run these cameras 24/7. We do duty cycles on the lights just to not have as large, I guess, like a footprint for the biology down there. We don't want them to be attracted to the lights or for it to change. But yeah, you'll see the camera that's down there, the lights are still working, so sometimes we turn them on and it helps the ROV find the site. And yeah, they light up the whole area, which makes for some really nice footage.
Cool.
Fabio would be the guy to talk about for that. He's sort of our
Jack.
cameras
Yeah,
guy, our biological
targets,
scientist.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Is the new Tempo Mini's a little different than the old one,
Just
though?
start heading down a little bit slower.
I think it has less instruments on it. I think it's sort of
special,
maybe the same assembly, but it doesn't have as many bits and bobs. It's really just the camera and the lights. And it's a bit of a funny contraption. It looks a lot different than designs that we put together, which are typically like very crude welded steel. You could tell people put a lot of thought into this design. So that's how you know it didn't come from ONC. But it has these arms that swing open on pulleys, and it's all made out of plastic, Delrin, so it won't corrode it. It's like titanium and Delrin. It's a very cool looking piece of equipment.
What do the arms do?
They hold the lights like at a wide angle away, but it allows it to sit in a smaller package for deployment, which is helpful. Whereas you'll see when we deploy our cameras later, we're not so clever. We just keep them wide and try not to bang them against the ship.
Yeah, Hercules.
Yep.
Look down at the camera. Or get underneath Atalanta.
And turn on your auto heading. Okay.
Which way are we going to be heading?
I'm pointing north. Looks like we're going to be heading east.
From Herc's position, yeah.
There's no real need to visit the junction box. I know we start all of our dive plans with like, start at the junction box, but we were just there yesterday. So we can go straight to the sediment trap location.
Okay, so then, Danny, just anywhere on this kind of flat shelf that you see here.
Okay.
Kind of right where Ada is probably great, and then we'll turn south.
If you just back up, I can turn Atalanta around. Back.
Okay.
Just give us a little more leash.
This is kind of like an extension of yesterday's dive, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So we added a few more tasks that we're sort of trying to split our dives at Endeavour between what we're calling a science dive, which is focused mostly on surveying, gas tights,
I did.
photogrammetry, and
So
just some of the sort of poking around.
you can start.
And we have our
again, and we'll just descend together slowly.
engineering dive, which is mostly equipment based. And it's going to involve us lowering a lot of our equipment in a tool basket and then working with the equipment.
I swear I saw it pop through.
And we're sort of, because we weren't able to finish our science dive yesterday with the temperature probe acting up, we sort of borrowed a few tasks from that. So we're repositioning the sediment trap, staging the camera for recovery. Those were things we were going to do on our science dive, but we're going to try to make the dives a little smaller if we can. It helps us work within the weather windows that we are predicting to get. So that's sort of why we've shuffled some of the tasks around. But after we do the camera and the sediment trap, then we'll be doing gas tights and some of our surveying and photogrammetry, which will be, I think, a lot of fun in this area. Something I think we're all looking forward to.
Do you know what kind of things we're hoping to focus on the photogrammetry with? In this area, anyway? No,
I think it's sort of, at this point, it's a little bit of a, what's the word? I think this is the first time that we've had the ability to do photogrammetry, or that Hercules has been able to provide us with the ability to do photogrammetry on a large area like this. We've done it in the past, but with a focus very much on a specific set of vents, where we would do it, very slowly and carefully. And I think the idea here is to create a really cool 3D map that will allow us to have not only better sort of navigational maps, but also just a better understanding of the topology of the site. And it changes year after year. And so I think what we could do is make a habit of doing this type of photogrammetry each year and seeing how the hydrothermal vents change over time. But I think it's largely, I think it would just be really neat to have and help us operationally plan future cable routes and, things like the CORAS, the acoustic scintillation experiment we're looking to deploy next year, like being able to understand where we can put that such that it's able to meet its operational criteria.
You don't want to back up too, will you?
That's cool to see, yeah.
Back up and head down. What? Well, the data looks like.
Is there something I could do about that, Jake?
How's that, Jake? Does that look good?
I'm not sure. It looks like it's picking up things on the porch. So,
Do you got Ross Proc here? Who's got Ross Proc?
I got it.
Oh, right.
I can release it.
I wouldn't know what to do. You'd have to walk me through.
We're almost to bottom right now. Can we deal with that after?
Yeah.
Slave driver.
Thank you. Dan, you're welcome to come sit in the trainer seat if you like.
No, Jake can walk you through it.
No, we'll just continue down.
What I'm doing.
I'm just being a disruptor back here because I'm bored.
Saw you down in the winch pit. Everything look good?
Yeah, we can actually log that we did winch checks at whatever time it is, 0300. Could probably do that when we log our gauge checks, on bottom gauge checks.
We have a question about the sediment traps. Since we drop them to the surface, how do we know that they're working for the whole year?
I mean, we don't.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, they're a fairly robust piece of equipment, and we deploy them every year. And then when we recover them, they come back with sediment in them. So that's.
Am I dragging you down?
that's really our only clue, is that we've done it before, and we follow the instructions on how to set them up and seal them, and we test them in the shop before we seal them up, so we know the motors are all working, and that's really all you can do. I mean, I guess for cabled equipment, it's true, like we'll know when it fails the moment it fails, because the data comes back to shore and we see it and talk about it. These we wouldn't know if they failed. We would recover them in a year, and some of the bottles would have sediment in them, or none of them would have sediment in them, and the scientists who process those bottles would be able to tell. We'd also find that the carousel would be not in the position we'd expect it to be. It would be either halfway through or in its starting position, and that would indicate that it didn't rotate.
But that won't happen, probably.
No, I don't think so. We're pretty confident in these instruments. They're super robust and very well built.
I'm sure there's all types of information that different scientists get from studying the sediment that comes up.
I'm sure there is. I definitely don't know what that information is.
Biology, anybody? Geology?
I think I heard Steve say that, especially here in the hydrothermal vents, the minerals that are being blown out of the earth in these vent structures will, end up in the water column and then fall back down into our sediment traps. And so it gives the scientists who are studying these hydrothermal vents and the geology of it and the seismic components to it, gives them some idea as to like what is the mineral makeup of the fluid. I'm sure I butchered that.
No, I think you did a good
somewhat.
job. We have a question. Will we be using Norbit to map the vent field?
That's the hope.
That's the hope.
This is our first time with the Norbit, and we're really excited to see how it would work, mapping this area to see both our infrastructure and the vents.
You can come down a little lower, I think. Oh, no, you're at 30 meters. You're good.
You can keep going down. Go find the bottom.
Yeah, we got eyes on you.
Yeah. Look at all that tether. You got a whole bunch of leash.
You'll have to release Rustproc when you get a chance, Jake. I can't blame it. It blames green as being silly.
So now it looks clean.
Wait,
Okay, I have bottom visual.
Great.
So remember the altitude double tap bug, Danny?
Yep.
You can do that from way high. It's just, you have to select it twice. That's funny, that screen came up here too.
There's bottom. Okay.
We see a cable.
We do see a cable.
Yeah, that's going to be one of our cables running between GB12 and GB10. Does it look, what color does it look like?
I'm going to run through our gauge checks.
Green to me.
Good, good, good. Good, good, good.
If it's green, then it is our Endeavour node cable.
Do you know the extension ID for that one?
Yeah, if you give me a minute, maybe, but I'm also not that confident in it, so I don't know that we want to be marking it.
Bouncing off bottom.
Gauges look good.
Okay.
I am going to mess with the sonar for a second. So I think I know what's going on here.
That's, yeah, that's the Norbit.
That's the Norbit. So if I go to 650 kilohertz.
My guess is it's 140.
Should be okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, then it might interfere with Herc, but we don't care about Herc.
I don't care about Herc.
No.
Okay. So we
3
got
sonars. 3 sonars on the vehicle now.
Jake.
Yeah.
Negative Z bias is what I want.
Yep. Negative.
I spy a nightmare craft.
But if you're, if it's fine, all right, then.
You might have to adjust the dB levels on
Oh, yeah.
Seeking after you've changed the frequency. We can wait till we have a hard target. How do you, is the RViz auto-magically doing voxels, or is it trying to show real-time data?
I am not sure. I'd have to look at the instructions.
That would be cheating.
Can you pull up the, see the little left sidebar?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the voxels are checked.
The launcher?
Or the, no, not the, no, on RViz, there's that little arrow.
Yeah,
on the left
roger.
side.
I got rid of it.
Yeah. So octomap cubes are there.
The octomap cubes are the voxels?
I believe so.
Roger.
So
that's a little Minecraft cube. Yeah.
I can turn off water column
front
data.
row, when you're ready, we can begin transiting towards the sediment trap.
Okay, sediment trap is where?
It's to the south.
To the south.
Are you guys all set with your gauge checks?
Gauge checks are good.
I need to white balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
video
need to
would
white
like to
balance.
white balance.
Okay.
You guys should white balance.
Auto depth, auto XY.
Hey, since Danny's driving, should I turn on collision enabled?
Is that a setting on the Norbit? Danny mode.
Hey, Anna,
We're teasing you, Danny.
Okay, go ahead, Jake.
Those the nightmare crabs you were talking about?
It's all serious.
Can we get some lights on, please?
Do you want downlights or no?
Yes, please.
Look at that. You can see craft in orbit.
Downlights coming on?
Ooh, yes. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm about to black balance, so the camera's going to go dark for a second.
So is that
we are all set. Thank you so much.
Is that a special kind of video tape that's on there?
It's a very special tape called electrical tape.
It's like a certain brand and a certain color.
It's electrical tape.
Yeah.
So the last video engineer was pulling my leg a little then.
It might have been.
Filling me full of video technical mumbo jumbo. I had to put special tape they handed me on there.
Wow.
Okay, can you zoom wide video?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So we're heading
at a bearing of about 160.
Okay, coming around.
Position.
Bearing 160.
That's
170.
170.
See how long that's taken to clear? You've got the arm stowed, right?
Yeah, the arm's stowed.
Still picking up some
Oh, it's
legacy.
facing in. You can spin it out.
Hmm? No, it's fine. It shouldn't be in orbit there. It's just interesting on the model. It's still some ghosts of it there. Oh no, they're still in the background. That's why. See, that's where you've had the manipulator out and then you flew forward.
So we're going to...
You're going down to this. This is our last pinged location.
Okay.
And just be aware that this sediment trap is on a mooring and it's going to be about, I think, 8 meters, between 6 and 8 meters tall. So, caution.
Could find it with your tether.
Copy.
That would be an easy way to move it.
I caught me a sediment trap.
My records is 8 USBL LBL beacons.
Okay. I'm going to start bumping ADA down that way.
Okay.
Keeping it behind Herc probably, because it'll take a few minutes for it to start moving. Starting with 30 meters at 105.
105.
Sorry, 150.
150.
Thank you, Jake. Bridge now.
Okay.
30 at 150, please.
Bringing Atalanta's heading around.
Copy, thanks. I'm gonna give you a reset. Great.
What is that we're looking at, Dan?
What's that?
Looks like an ultrasound.
That's the acoustic image view. So that's like the raw data coming back from the multi-beam. So
Cool.
you can see all the beep beep happening in real time. Should be the same as
Whoa, that's cool.
that's all the little
All the little
mountains, beams of multiness. If I reduce the gate there a little, it's might get some noise out there, but
that's pretty neat.
So we're mapping from the ROV.
Don't go messing with all those survey settings here.
too late.
That's the orbit we're looking at. It's not logging right
No.
now. We're not. We haven't really begun our survey. We're just. It's on, so we can look at it in real time.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm just
great.
playing
We're just playing with it.
Yeah,
Glad I
maybe.
haven't missed anything.
No, we'll let you
We're
know.
about 50 meters from where we think it should be.
I'm
So
changing some
hopefully
of the
we'll start
settings
seeing
to
it.
compensate for us not being in survey mode. So when we're in survey mode, we're like 20, 30 meters up.
You want to be 3 meters?
Say that again?
Oh, Dan.
Oh, sorry. Ada's going to take a minute to start moving still. Just a heads up.
It's okay, I'm still... Oh, yeah, my dragon and Elena behind me.
You might start to, yeah.
Do we have a target for the sediment trap on sonar yet?
I turned it off, but I can turn it back on. It's holding pretty stable.
You are really light.
That's how we roll.
That's incredible Norbit imagery there that it's
magic?
generating.
Absolute magic.
Look at that.
And that's with Danny at what? Only a couple meters high? What's your altitude now, Danny? I can't really...
I'm at 1.6.
Yeah, so he's only a couple meters high, but that's there's a way to measure with this thing, but I probably can't figure it out.
Bottom's really rocky, so auto altitude's not working that great.
Auto altitude's for noobs.
Yeah, I'm not using it.
Quit pushing buttons and fly that ROV, mate.
And you're at the end of your leash.
Okay.
You can also see in the data, though, it really becomes critical on how we, like you can see where Danny came up right here. And then any kind of, porpoising with ROV will seriously make holes or re-overlap our data.
Is it the sonar image on the left that's Hercules?
On the top up there?
Yeah.
No, the one on the left is typically Atalanta, or the sled.
Okay.
And the one on the starboard is Hercules. So the one on the left is typically set to 20-meter range rings. And so it's looking out 100 meters.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And the one for Hercules is typically set to 10-meter range rings. So it's looking out 50 meters. And then the one below that is the Tritech. And I think Jake's probably got it set for what? 10?
Yeah, we're going to have to tweak it. We need a target, though.
1, 2, 3. Looks like there's a target maybe 40 meters away. Does that match, Johan, with where we'd expect to find it?
We should be seeing it about 15 meters away.
There's a target to your right. Looks like 10 meters away.
Yeah.
So if you want to see if that's real, Danny, stop flying forward and bring your head to the right, maybe 30, 45 degrees, and then let it sweep a few times. Or Johan can hit the sweep reverse button there on his sonar controller.
Nah, it's okay, just let it sweep.
Copy.
So
if we're anywhere near where I think we are on this map, there's a note saying large boulders.
That target did move itself in front of Danny, so it's worth investigating.
It could just be bouncing off that rock.
There's a big rock in front of us.
But there's a target 10 meters away.
Yeah. Straight ahead.
And there's a cable.
There's 2 cables, and those are extension ID 710 and extension ID 350.
Yeah,
if we are where I think we are.
It's worth flying by the 10-meter target. It's not that far out of your way.
Okay.
There's a pretty decent chance that this has landed on our south IP.
It is pretty close.
If you just turn the DB down on that sonar now, Jake, you'll see it. Turn the gain up, you'll see some of that backscattering.
I would say those look like large boulders.
Yes.
Good work, site layout diagram team.
Any idea what that cable is?
Yeah, The one on the left is extension ID 350, and that goes to our bottom pressure recorder and short period seismometer.
Thank you.
Okay. Are we good with that target?
Yeah.
Yes.
Looks like the other one is the one that AJ is talking about. That looks like more like a sediment trap.
Johan, can you ping the Sonardyne again and see if it stays in the same spot now that the ROV's Ranger is also right there?
Yeah, it is currently pinging, so it should be 10 meters due east.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing on the Mesotech too.
Yeah, I'm still getting my tail pull rating on Atalana's move.
The ship is finished, so Ada is coming along.
I'll bet if you want to do an exercise while you're waiting for the ship, if you come up a few meters.
Oh, that looks like it right there.
Yep, there it is.
Oh. I was going to say, we could sweep it with Norbit. We could pick it up.
Oh, that's something.
Exercise
Oh yeah,
still
no,
works.
that's
I mean, we're still waiting.
it. That's going to be the
Can't get
pump
that.
weights. And it's got 2 anchors, so that's what the extra rope is there for. That looks like a sediment trap.
Hey, Johan.
Yeah.
When we get a little closer, can you put a position up on the monitor for me?
Sure. Yeah.
So you'll want to pivot around that thing, Danny, so you're between it and Atalanta. And then move Atalanta's view accordingly, so you should be able to light up sediment trap itself and flotation or whatever other jewelry's on top.
For the Norbit scan, are the colors based on depth the same here?
The colors that you're seeing on the map, yeah, they are some contour relief, but I think that's the current one that's up there is a monochrome one, just darker or lighter.
Wow, that almost landed on the cable.
Yeah, very close.
I think the cable would have been fine.
So you're thinking like this, Stan?
Yeah, that way you can, if we get into trouble, you can lift Atalanta up. You know, so you should make sure your tether's tight. You're managing your tether now with your delta. You don't want to get too close with Atalanta.
Yeah, we got a 20-meter delta.
But how tall is this thing, AJ?
I think it's 8 meters. I think you're right.
Let's come up to the top and have a look.
Yeah, let's see what our lifting bridle looks like there, because we're going to have to pick it up and carry it.
Yeah, the safest way is to lift it from the top, and hopefully you can see down with the stereo camera. You put the Orion out, and way out to the left. You can
Johan,
grab it
I'm going to give you a position that's our target. It's where we're going to carry this sediment trap to. You probably already have it in there, but I'm going to give you a new one, and we'll make sure it lines up with what you have.